Auction time, auction time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's auction time. My name is Myers Jackson, and I'm here today with Nui Auctioneer and Brian Davis, and we're going to be hosting your auction today. We're at 7901 Old Hickory Drive, right over in North Richland Hills. Tell you what, folks, this is a house, and we get asked a lot of time, Brian, about why is the house going to auction.
Yeah.
And so, because we're auctioneers. That's why.
That's why. Yeah.
We're auctioneers. So we're an auction company.
I get that call all the time. Why is this house priced where it is? And I said, did you read the comments? It's an auction.
It is an auction.
I said, you pay what you want. What you think it's worth. Yeah.
Every time I teach the class how to survive a real property auction, people are asking me, well, what's wrong? There doesn't have to be anything wrong, guys. Let me tell you what. Auction means to augment or to increase. And the seller likes this because we're going to increase the price if we can. If we can't increase the price, the seller has the chance to say yes or no.
That's right.
But this webcast today is a form of auction where we're broadcasting live stream. Hope everybody can see. We appreciate everybody from around the world. We got people from all over we literally got people from around the world, Central America, Asia.
Well, how fun is that?
I'm going to tell you what,
Yeah.
we got people logged in from everybody. So send us a little note and say, hey, we appreciate y'all being here today.
Where you from?
Where you from? Just put it in your notes. We can tell where everybody's from, but it's good to interact. So you got the interaction too. We want to give a shout out to Stefan he's all the way up in Maine.
Maine.
All the way from Maine.
How's the weather in Maine, Stephen?
Yeah, you send us a chat, Stephen.
Yeah,
tell us how you hear us, and this is day number 2 of the webcast. All right. Now we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Then we're going to get into seeing what somebody wants to pay for this property today.
Right.
Hey, make no mistake. Now, this is what happened yesterday. This is exactly what happened yesterday. Come on in, Mark, come on in, take a seat.
Cowboy Mark.
Cowboy Mark's in here. We got a room full of people in here today. He was just a little late for the on stage excitement, but Mark's always in here with us. But what? Let's talk about what happened yesterday. So I don't want this not to happen today. What happened yesterday is we done the same thing. We was talking about the house. We're going to mention the house in just a minute. But what happened yesterday is we had people on bidding in the webcast, and people were bidding, and we talked to the seller, and the seller said, Nui said, I already do this at the beginning. The seller said, sold. Now that happened yesterday, right here, sitting right here during the webcast live. So make no mistake, this can happen here today. It can happen at any time.
Don't you think people like to bid on properties this way, Myers, because they can be obscure? When you're there live, maybe you get a little nervous. You don't want to raise your hand.
I agree.
Here you can raise your hand,
All you got to do is,
it's fun. Yeah.
And Brian brings up a great point that all you got to do is when you raise your hand, you're just simply, there's 2 ways you can raise your hand here in this webcast. Number 1 is you can actually place a bid. Now, when you place a bid, that's real money. You're making a real contract.
Be serious.
You learned that at auction school, right? What happens when somebody puts their hand? What happens when somebody puts their hand in the air?
It means they're willing to pay for that amount.
That's exactly right. And what is the auctioneer going to do?
Well, he's gonna ask for the next bid price.
So just for practice, what do we have right now? What do we have bid right now, Nui?
The current bid right now is $131,500.
And we are
asking for $135,000 right now.
Who's going to give us 135?
Who's willing to bid
This-
135? Just click the button.
That's
right
all you
there.
got to do is click the button at 135. Now this is easy as it gets. So if you click 135, then the system is set up to ask for more money. So guys, this is what happens in a real auction. The auctioneer right now we have 131,500 bid, and the auctioneer is asking for 135. All right? The auctioneer is asking for 135. So we do this in these increments. We do these in these increments to find out what is the max somebody's willing to pay. Now somebody says, well, the seller's never going to take that.
You don't know.
What happened yesterday, Brian?
The seller took it.
The seller took it. Now we had an appraisal yesterday of $950,000. All right.
Right.
And the seller was willing to take less. And people always say, well, the seller's not going to take less than this. Well, yesterday they took a great deal less. And it's like, what the seller said, sell the property.
That's right.
So don't let the number scare you. What you got to do is what you got to get in. You have got to get in, and you've got to start getting used to, number one, register in the system.
That's right.
We're going to send you alerts. We're going to let you know, okay, this is available. This is ready to go. But you got to look up and say, hey, is it my turn to bid? So what we got going on now, Nui? What we got going on now? What's up, Greg? Come on in, Brother Grant. We got somebody else coming in here. How you doing today, buddy? So we're in our pregame show right here. All right. We're in our pregame show, and we appreciate everybody who's logging on. We're just, we're giving some folks the opportunity to log on in here today, and we take a few minutes to practice a little bit because this is new. And everybody, we got quite a few people logged in. So what we're doing is giving everybody an opportunity to say, okay, let me find the buttons. It is not the auctioneer's job, and I want to explain this, Brian.
Okay.
It is not the auctioneer's job to come in here and talk so fast until nobody knows what I'm doing.
That's right.
Everybody follow me?
I'll slow you down.
Well,
maybe Nui can translate here for us.
Yeah, the Nui just got out of auction school. For everybody who don't know, Nui just got out of auction school, so she is a translator. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
To talk in the general people.
So where are we at right now, Nui? Well, where are we at? Where are we at right here in the bid process? Because what we're doing is we're watching the screens. So as everyone is making a bid, we're watching the screens. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's how we know. We've got a list of people who is live in the auction and the people who is live in the auction and who's going to bid. So what's going on right now, Nui? What is our current status?
The current bid right now is $136,000.
136?
Yes. So now our auctioneer is asking for $137,000.
All right. So we've got bid increments set up right now for $1,000.
I want to go back, Myers, to what you were talking about. Why should a buyer, a bidder bid? They're not going to take my bid. You never know what's going on in that seller's life. Mm-hmm. You never know where they are mentally, financially, whatever. So why wouldn't you throw your bid out there?
I'm telling you, I talked to a gentleman yesterday, and I don't know where my man. I don't know where he is. He didn't log in. He talked to me for 30 minutes yesterday, and we talked about this same thing. Mm-hmm. That it's like, what? Sellers have been doing all kind of things. So Brian and I was in the podcast yesterday, and in the pre-auction show is what we're calling it. In the pre-auction show, just like pre-game show. Right. So we was talking in the pre-game show yesterday about what people do, and over the years, Brian's been doing it for 36 years. I've been in this 25 years as an auctioneer, 27 years as a real estate broker, agent 1 year, broker for 26 years. Let's get it straight. All right.
You got in there pretty quick.
I got in there pretty quick. Yeah. In Florida, you can move a little bit faster in Florida. So I got my regional license in Florida. So what was going on yesterday is that Brian and I were talking what went on in the bubble, what went on here, what went on there. Mm-hmm. And a seller has multiple reasons to sell. All right? And this is where we're going with this.
That's right.
There's multiple reasons why they will sell a piece of property at auction. Mm-hmm. And one of those reasons, they may buy another house and they're tired of 2 mortgage payments.
Right.
So let's do some calculations. If they sell now for less money, which could happen.
Right.
If they sell for less money, do they want to go ahead and take that money now, Greg? Or do they want to pay that mortgage for another 6 or 8 months? Take that money now.
That's right.
Take that money now. So that's what we're seeing happening all the time. So what we won't do, we want people to participate. And so let's get back to our house clip and let's find out how much somebody's going to pay. We should be done with this in here somewhere around 11:30 today. We'll see what happens. All right, Brian. Now, as the auctioneer, I want to talk about terms and conditions for a minute. If you look in your document section online right now, so all you got to do is you got to toggle.
Everybody can log in.
Everybody can log in.
You just hit
toggle to your
documents.
document section. When you toggle to that document section, it's going to give you all the disclosures. Now, I don't have time to read every one of them sitting right here, but those documents and those disclosures have been published for quite a while now.
They have.
Okay? They have been published for quite a while. So that means that the public has access to it.
That's right.
Have access to the documents. What else do you have on there, Nui? What else can they see?
They can see all the information about bid history.
There you go.
Yeah.
You
You
can
can see like what has been bid and the amount and the current bid.
So we take offers in multiple ways. We take written offers. We take offers that we take them. I mean, listen, I get offers by text message sometimes. Somebody says, hey, I cannot get my computer to work or my phone to work because we're out here in Timbuk 3 somewhere.
Right.
And it's like, hey, I want to make a bid. I want to buy this house. So sometimes we take and
That's
these are
an offer.
That's an offer.
That is an offer.
Now,
You've always said if a carrier pigeon flies through the window and it's got an offer written on one leg, tied to one leg, and proof of funds on the other, you might take that.
You know
right?
what? I'm going to tell you what, we're looking for proof of funds. We always ask for proof of funds. We want to make sure that you're real, okay? And I tell you what, we very rarely run into any problems, but if we do run into problems, you know what? Which we don't like, but you know what? Every once in a while, somebody might come in there and make a bid, or they slip through the cracks and say, "Oh no, I forgot, I made a mistake." And you know, I had a guy bid one time 56 times, and he says, "Oh no, that wasn't me, that wasn't me." And I was like, "Hey, which one of these 56 times didn't you bid?"
That's right.
So that's called false bidding. If you do not intend to bid, don't bid to just be playing around, because when you make a bid in this system, or if you make a bid at the live auction, guess what? That's a bid, guys. That is a bid. That is an offer. You're entering into the contract.
Right.
And if the auctioneer says sold, then you just bought yourself a property.
And it's nothing to be scared about.
There's nothing to be scared about.
You just got to know, hey, I can close on this house. I can stand behind my bid.
You just got to mean to do it.
Right.
Okay, that's all you got to do is mean to do it. And if you do that, you know what? You don't have any problems. We're going to go to the closing table. We want to go to the closing table. And we want you to buy the property. In fact, you know, once again, yesterday we're going to this closing table. We're going to go to the closing table. We're going to go to the closing table. So anyhow, we take bids, we take written offers. What is the special deal that we're giving today here, Brian? Talk about the special deal.
Well, I'm not sure what the special deal is. Is that the special deal? That's the special deal, or
well, that's
we're going to help. I tell you what, I think I know what the special deal is.
All right.
Okay. Now, hopefully, I don't give you too much of a special deal, but this is what we're going to give the bidder here if they win today, right? If they win the bid,
That's right.
So we're going to give them 5% concession.
5% concession off of the buyer's premium.
Are you serious? 5%.
5%.
5%.
Okay.
All right.
And you know what? I pulled one on you today, Brian. So I pulled a little rank today.
All right.
So this is what we're going to do to any real estate agent that registers today. Okay.
And they've registered just like the client did.
If they've registered on the site, they're in the system.
We know if they're in there.
We got a timestamps. We know that they're in there.
So hurry up and register
if you're
if you're an
registered in this system in here today,
Yeah.
and your buyer follows the rules today, and your buyer gets the money, and we're going to give that realtor $1,000 for doing their part today.
Wow.
Okay.
As soon as that money hits the bank, we're going to give that realtor $1,000.
That's immediate money.
That's immediate money.
Yeah, that's
okay?
immediate money.
That's immediate money.
I like that.
So if you're out there and you've got a buyer, so this is the reason why, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that people are following the rules. All right? Because everybody else is following the rules. And if the realtor's out there working, Greg over there now, Greg's he done puckered up over there. He ready to go now. He ready to get that 1,000. You got to bring that buyer in here and get them into this system and bid. So any of those, if you know what, we get leads, the realtors get leads from everywhere.
Right.
So we want to make sure, but we're going to give that 5% back to the purchaser. Right. And then if there's a buyer-broker agreement in place, then that's between the agent and the buyer-broker, and that's the reason why we give up.
Well, if we've got a
some extra
5%
money.
concession going back to the buyer, and I'm a buyer's agent, I have an agreement with my buyer, then I'm entitled to part of that concession.
That's right. So that's
So
exactly
I'm
right.
covered. You're covered.
You're
Don't worry
covered.
about it. Yeah.
You're covered.
Yeah.
We're going to give the concession to the buyer through the reduction in the buyer premium cost, and then the buyer can disperse out the money however you want to. All right. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, let's get in here and
This
find
is a
out.
great house, North Origin Hills.
So Brian, you've been in the house. Tell them about the house.
You know, you walk in, it opens up. You got a dining room on the left, or a room. You could use it as a dining room or a living room, and it opens up to another room, which is a dining room. Then you got a big, I guess, family room with fireplace, and it looks out on a swimming pool. So it's a great looking pool back there. And then your kitchen's off to the left side as you come in, and it opens up. You've got a breakfast area that opens up to the pool. You've got four bedrooms. The primary bedroom has a room off of it with some double doors. It could be an office. It could be a nursery if somebody needed that, or it just could be the doghouse where you get to go sleep, Marge.
You know what? I'm going to yeah. I'll sleep in the back of the truck before I sleep in the doghouse. All right, so let's go ahead and get that straight. Look here now. Hey, we just, I don't know if you've seen on your screen or not, but they just showed all of them images.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just kind of went through there.
Yeah, we just kind of went through there and gave everybody a little pre-show. All right, Brian, you ready?
I'm ready.
We got all the bids ready. We're ready to go.
Here. We're going.
Is everybody ready online? Nui, where are we at? Where are we at, Nui?
The current bid right now is 151,000. Now we're asking
151,000.
152.
Yeah.
All right, right off the screen, asking 152,000. That's right. How much?
152.
150.
Give me 152, 152, now 152.
Come on with it. Hey, $152,000. What about the bid increments? We're going to get down to business right here. We're going to start the bidding, and we've got some other bids that we're going to attend to right here. So, all right, how many dollars you going to pay for it? I'm at 151, asking 156. After $156,000, now $161,000. That's what I'm asking, $166,000, and we're in the money. 161, 166. Hey, now money to get now money with a bid. With the bid, $170,000 now. Hey, 170 is what I'm asking. Get in the money. 170, 175, 170 now, 175. Get in, Greg. You got somebody going to bid in here today. 175 for 555.
Raise your hand.
Number with a bid, 175 to 180. Hey, now $180,000. Get in. I'm gonna get 180. I got. Hey, what about you? I'm at $189,000. You reckon he'll bid 190 one time? Hey, 190,000. Too close to call here. 195. 195. Get in now. Get in with a bid, to 195. Hey, 195 for 555. 195. What do you get a good A number with a bid, to but what about $200,000? Would you do it one time? 200 now. Hey, 200, 210, 10, 10, 10, 10, 210, 210. Asking 205. Hey, asking 205. What about 210? What about 210 one time? Hey, 210, 220, $220,000 now money, $220,000. Where you? 220,000. Hey, Stefan. Stefan's, I got a question. Could you see the video okay? That's what we're asking. We want to make sure we're asking a question out here. Nui's running that. She's running that chat. If you want to put something into the chat right now, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that right now. We're at 230, asking 240, $240,000, 240, 250. On time, $280 now money, $260,000 now, 70, 70, 70, 70, and 80 would have been bomb at 80. And what about 90? Hey, what about 90, Brian? To get a good A. Now, I think we got it written down. Hey, now money. We got the bid. We got the bid. We got the bid right now. $300,000 money. 310 to 10, 10 to 10, 10 to 10, 10. Asking 310, 20. What about 30 now? We're going to now money 100 to get it $330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000 down 340,000. What about 50,000 one time? $350,000. Bid 340, asking $360,000. Anybody on the internet anywhere? Get in that money. 360,000. 360,000. 360,000, 360,000, 360 now, one more time, 360,000. That's what I'm asking. Hey, what about my mic? Are we good, Diego? Hey, $360,000. What are we looking at? You're going to name money. It ain't now money, $360,000. Hey, we just need one.
You
Get in
never
and
know.
play. You know that
Make us
money.
call the seller. Make us call the seller.
Ain't no money. 370, 360, 370, 360, 370. Hey, 360. I'm asking. I'll take 360 or 370. We got 370 written, but I'm going to tell you what. I'll take 360. See what happens. Take it on a will call.
Would you take 355?
I'll take 355,000 right now. I'm going to tell you what. You know what? That's $355,000. 355. Go up to your bid increments and help me with the bid increments. That's all you got to do is put in 5. Roll that screen to the top. There you go. All you got to do is change that bid increment right here. Nope, right down here. Right down here. Change it. Change it. Change it. Change it. We're in training. Nope. Back down. Just hit 5,000 right here. Okay, so that's going to change the bid increment right there. Instead of asking 360, the system's going to tell everybody about $365,000 right here. Hey, 365,000 now. 355. I'll take 355 for 55. 355. 355 is all we're asking. All we're asking is $355,000. We have 350 bid. Brian, I think that they're going to do it one time. 355,000 is what we're asking. 7901 North Richland Hills. If you're on the phone and you want to bid, they keep on dialing in. They can bid right there on that telephone. We'll take them we'll take them left, right. Doesn't matter.
Bring it on anyway.
355,000. 355,000 is what I'm asking. Hey, 355 now, 360, $360,000, 360,000, 360,000. You know, we got to take this one on a will call. That means we'll call the seller.
Okay.
We'll call the seller. We got an offer in there just a shade higher than that, but we're going to check these numbers and we're going to talk to the seller to see if they're going to play ball. We do have a written offer at this amount.
Let's do it.
So let's talk to the seller. Hey, let's digress a little bit. Let's see if we got any questions. Is there any questions out there online? This is going to stay live online. You're going to see the updates online. This is going to stay live online until we get all the confirmations. But is anybody out there watching from anywhere that has a question about what we're doing?
I've got one here. So they asked about the 13% buyer's premium.
Okay.
Could you explain that and how would you do with the 5% concession?
So the auctioneer comes in and asks, they publish what a buyer's premium. Auctioneers use a buyer's premium. So that buyer's premium means that the buyer, on top of the bid, on top of today's bid right here, the buyer is going to pay an additional 13%.
That's right.
That's your out-of-pocket money right now. Now, you also pay the closing cost.
Mm-hmm.
There may be some other fees.
If I want an updated survey, if I want a title policy.
That's right. That's all on the buyer.
Yeah.
Sometimes the sellers, and I don't believe we have any solar panels on this house, do we?
No, we don't.
No solar panels on this house. Every once in a while we run up on
We have
houses.
a swimming pool, though.
Got a swimming pool, but the swimming pool goes with it. But there's no solar panel lease or fixture lease tied to the swimming pool.
And I know for a fact the house had just been painted inside, so it's fresh coat of paint on the inside.
So you add that buyer's premium back to the bid price.
Right.
Now, what we're doing here today and what Nui is alluding to, we had a question that says, hey, what do I have to pay today? Remember the 5% we just talked about? That's the concession off the buyer's premium.
Right.
That is the concession off the buyer's premium.
So you take my bid, Myers, and you times that by 5%, and then that's what we take off of the buyer's premium.
Well, what we do is let's just say, let's just use some cowboy math here today. All right. $300,000 times 13% is $339,000.
That's right.
Now you're going to take 5% off of $39,000. What does that calculate? To get out your figure later, Nui. 39,000 times 0.05. And that's going to be,
Whoops.
Yeah, we calculate.
Nui's got it.
Times 0.05. So that's going to be $19,500. So you're only paying a $20,000 buyer premium here today. So now the buyer can take that $19,500 and apply it to wherever you want to.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Pay that more than pays for your closing cost.
Right.
That pays your realtor.
Pays your realtor, whatever.
So you don't have to pay the full 13% here. If we offer that, we may not always offer that. In order to get that, you got to get in here and bid today. You got to play by the rules.
You gotta
okay.
Play. Yep.
You got to play by the rules. And what I mean is we have the terms and conditions of sale. You can't come in and change the terms and conditions of sale after the fact.
And once you award the bid, I need to get my buyer's premium money into
That's right. You got to deliver that today.
I got to take my earnest money to the title company.
You got to take your earnest money to the title company.
Money, Myers, does that credit back towards me at closing?
Yes, the earnest money does, but the buyer's premium does not.
There you go. All right.
Okay?
All right.
Man, these are some good questions. Greg, what kind of question you got, buddy? Come on in here. Come stump the auctioneer. This is Stump the Auctioneer now. Come on in here with a question. You or Mark. Mark, we got some people in the audience today. What kind of questions y'all got back over there?
Anybody got a question?
I don't have any question right now.
No.
All right.
No.
Okay.
Got a closing time frame.
Up to 30 days. So Mark's
there you go.
question was, what about the closing time frame? So you got up to 30 days.
So I pay the buyer's premium, I pay my earnest money, and then I've got 30 days to bring the remainder.
You got 30 days to bring the remainder
Can
of the
I
money.
get it from my grandma?
Well, you can get it from whoever you like, as long as you got the ability to close.
All right.
You know what? I always say you can borrow money from Uncle Russell and Aunt Ruth.
Right.
Well, let me tell you what, they wasn't in the money loaning business, but if it was, the interest was high. So let me tell you what.
I got it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, let's talk about Aaron down at Expire Mortgage.
Hey, Aaron McDaniel, Aspire Mortgage. This guy knows how we operate. This guy knows what we do. He can put you on a roadmap to work with us, and he can get the remainder of the money for you. You know, you may have to sign a few papers, do a little bit of qualifying, but he'll get it done for you.
So if you're a realtor, now listen, this is key because a lot of realtors are used to using that third-party financing addendum.
Right.
And Aaron says he don't need what?
He doesn't need that third.
He don't need no third-party financing addendum. Okay. So we was in a house one day, and he was in there. He says he looks around. He says there's no problem with financing this house.
Right.
I mean, he just come in and took a look around. If there's small issues, we all know that it's going to be cleared up, which brings up another issue. What is the condition you're buying the house in?
As is, where is.
It is as is. When can I inspect?
Anytime.
Anytime before you start the bidding process.
And you can even inspect after you award a bid, but
You're still buying it as
you're
is.
still buying it as is.
That's a key point right there, Brian.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, hey, you know what? I am going to get some money from the bank.
Right.
Okay, there is no issues with that. No harm, no foul. But the bank wants to know what condition the house is in.
That's right.
You can still do an inspection. It's just not contingent upon the inspection. That means you can't come back and change your mind later. That means if the screen door's busted, Greg, who got to fix the screen door?
You do. The buyer.
Don't say me do.
The auctioneer, no. The buyer.
Auctioneer got some duct tape and some haywire.
Hey, you don't want the auctioneer fixing the screen door. So I see some of that.
I can fix. Now I can fix some stuff, but I might not be as gentle as Mark. Mark says I'm a little rough, so got a sledgehammer that HD Snow let me have one time. Hey, guy, do your inspection.
I saw the video with you in the sledgehammer.
Yeah, do your inspection. You can do it before if the bank requires some additional inspections. Hey, you know what? So somebody even says, hey, can we use FHA or VA money?
Yes.
Okay, so we've sold this. Mark and I went over and we looked at a house over in Mesquite not too long ago, and this is another prime example of what we do right here. Mark, you remember that house over there in Mesquite? It was a Navy veteran. And he was either Navy or Army, and the guy was getting a VA loan.
Right.
Well, was the situation, and this is important right here to any realtors or any sellers who sit here listen.
Listen up. Yep.
This had been on the MLS probably 60, 75 days.
Okay.
And the agent called me and said, hey, how do we get involved? We want to auction this property. Mm-hmm. In about 5 days, we had this veteran that stuck their hand in the air and they said, hey, we want to buy this house, but we getting a VA loan. Well, let me tell you what. And he says, I don't have all of the money that you're requiring.
Right.
Now, we're a veteran-owned company. We service veterans. We've got multiple veterans that work inside the company. So in turn, we're here to help veterans. I mean, it's just by nature. But what we did is we worked a special arrangement with this veteran, and within 30 days, he was living in the house. How about that?
There you go. We can work it out.
We can work it out.
Yeah, we will figure a way to work it out. So, yeah.
We want to make sure that you, as the buyer, if you're the buyer and you're looking here today, we want to make sure that you're serious. That's all.
That's right.
Sellers, they typically get renegotiated in the option period. So sellers don't like a lot of that. They get outdone or outmaneuvered in that third-party finance addendum. And the sellers is like, you know what? We want a buyer that's solid, that's credible, that is got the wherewithal, got the means
Yeah.
to close the deal.
If they got a question, hire an inspector. What are they? $500 sometimes? Maybe, I don't know. I hate to throw out a figure, but sometimes you can get them cheaper than that.
Had a guy the other day inspected the house twice before they made a bid.
Wow.
Inspected the house twice before they made a bid.
The only risk in that is while your inspector's out there inspecting the house and you're planning on bidding, what if somebody calls in or sends a bid in and they get the house and Myers here gavels down on it? Well, you just lost your inspection money. But if you're thinking about inspecting, don't think about it too long. Get out there and do it.
Just come on and do it.
We'll open the house up for it. We'll get it open for it. We'll get the seller open up for it. And then you can make a educated bid at that point, you know, and you know what you're bidding on.
So
Yes,
people,
sir. Cowboy Mark.
come
What
on.
about encumbrances and title?
Encumbrances and title. Talk to it.
Oh, is that a question for the
I
auctioneer?
guess I will go ahead. I don't know. You know, so.
Well, the terms and conditions of sale is going to dictate
Right. What kind of title?
what happens.
Right.
Okay. So my suggestion to everyone out there in the real world is read.
Read
the terms and conditions of sale. In most situations, we have the title commitment in advance.
That's right.
We're
It's
working
usually
with some
online.
great title companies, Capital, Independence, First American. There's some great title companies that are working to get this title out there.
And they'll answer questions too. If you have questions, they'll answer.
They'll answer the questions there. I mean, these are some great folks to work
Especially
with.
about the title.
So we're going ahead and doing this work in advance. Now, in most cases, the seller is telling the auction company or telling me up front as the auctioneer that they can deliver what the attorney calls an indefeasible, good and
indefeasible title.
Good and indefeasible
That's
title.
right. Yeah.
Now I got the explanatory version of that one day by a title company lawyer.
Okay.
That's not Jackson's definition. That's what the lawyer said.
So what does good and indefeasible title mean?
Well, I'm gonna let the attorney explain that, but what I understand as the layperson is it's going to transfer from the seller to the buyer, and the seller is going to take care of any encumbrances. That's what the question was. The seller is going to take care of those encumbrances. Okay. All right.
All right.
So, read the title commitment. Now, I will say this: if the seller can't deliver clear title, it may be listed, that encumbrance may be listed in the terms and conditions of sale, such as a gas line easement, utility easements.
Right.
Anybody ever seen them telephone poles?
I've seen a telephone pole.
Yeah, you've seen the telephone poles along the side of the road. Even Nui done seen the telephone poles. Well, guess what? In most situations, and I don't know where a property I've ever sold that had a telephone pole running by it, that the utility company didn't have a utility easement on that.
Oh my goodness. I've never seen that.
You've never seen that?
I've never seen that they didn't have the easement on it. So yeah, wouldn't they have an easement?
Yeah, they always got the easement.
That's what I thought.
So we may be selling subject to that, and I believe that the title company calls that's an exception.
Okay.
That they will allow that encumbrance to remain and insure that title. Okay. Once again, you go down there and, I don't know, talk to Who are we going to talk to down at Independence Title?
You know, we're going to talk to Adrian DeBow over there.
We're going to talk to Adrian DeBow down at Independence.
And if she can't answer the question, they have attorneys there that'd be glad to answer your question.
Izzy Lane over at Capital Title.
Yep.
I mean, you know, Izzy's very, very well acquainted with the auction, how the auction process. So, you know, if you've got a question and you say, and I don't want to leave out Adrian over at First American.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all doing some work on some of these properties that we got. So if you have a question about the title, just pick up the phone. They're listed. The title company is already listed in the terms and conditions of sale.
That's right. Yep.
Now, you're not absolutely required to use this title company.
Nope.
But I want to tell you what, they could be of good help to you if you would just pick up the phone and
They
call
know
them.
how we operate. They know they're there to, you know, they're there in the middle, man, to make it go good, you know.
Nui,
Go through.
Yeah.
you always, all day long, Nui is asking me questions. All day long, Nui. So what is your question, Nui?
For today.
Give her the microphone. That way that everybody
There
can
we
hear
go,
Nui.
Nui.
She's
Okay.
on spot.
There we go.
So, as a bidder, I'm still thinking about it. How long do I have for this house? How long do I have to decide?
How long does the auction go? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
how long
saying?
does the action go? I want to think about it. I want to take a look at the house.
That depends on the bidders, and it depends on the sellers. It depends on the bidders. The auctioneer is there to negotiate and facilitate this, but really, this could end in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, that could end.
If a bidder comes in, so if you look online, there's some words in green and some words in red. And if it's just a regular online auction and it says reserve not met, that means the seller has not given the authority to sell the house.
That's right.
But the minute it turns green and says reserve met, the auctioneer can sell it at any time. All right? Now, sometimes we may put a time clock on that to give everybody a fair chance. Let's just say that there's 2 or 3 or 23 or 15 or 13 people bidding. We don't know. And that light turns green. As an auctioneer, I'm not going to automatically turn it off. I'm going to give everybody a fair chance to bid. I can put a 24-hour clock on that, or a timer right up there on your screen. So you're going to see the clock. It's going to count down. But once that time runs out, that's when it ends. In
Whoever's
a
standing at the end wins, right?
live auction,
Yep.
now let's talk about what happens in a webcast. The same thing, yesterday this happened right here live in this webcast.
Right.
Boom, we hit the number, seller said sell, boom. It was ended yesterday. Today's webcast is going to be extended until it turns green, until we get confirmation from the seller that they're going to sell it at the price that we're at today. So right now, somebody could still actually bid the $365. All right? We just waiting on confirmation from the seller is what we're selling. We're waiting on seller confirmation right now. So we've been talking and hadn't been on the phone, but I imagine that the seller is watching this. So what do you think happens in a live auction, Nui? I mean, a live auction, the auctioneer standing there. What do you think is going to happen?
What's going to happen?
The auctioneer's calling bids, and your question was, when does the auction end? So what if I hit that reserve in the live auction?
If you hit reserve, then reserve is met.
Yeah.
That means that that's sold. Once the hammer's down, you'll start the contract. You're starting the contract between the seller.
That's right,
The
and the
buyer.
buyer. Boom, right there. So the question she asked, when does the auction end? Let me tell you what, it could end right there in the live auction.
there, yeah.
Now, we could take an online bid. This is called simulcast, everybody. Simulcast means that I'm taking bids live. I'm taking bids online. We may take them written. We may take them, Brian mentioned a text message a while ago. How else can we get a bid?
Fax, voicemail.
You know what?
Take a voicemail.
Anyway,
Y'all think this is crazy, but just a couple years ago, I got a bid by fax,
Really?
and it come into my computer, but they done slid it in their fax machine. Okay, so it was legit. They paid the money. I'm like, okay. They did what they said they're going to do. So what we're trying to do is facilitate this. What's another good question, Nui?
well, let's see.
You're on the outside looking in.
Okay.
You've been familiar with the auction business. You've been familiar with the auction business for just a few months now.
Yes.
So I want you to think about who in your shoes that have never been involved in an auction?
Sure. So right now it looks like it's 360 right now. What if I want to do 161.50? Do you have a chance to bid?
What you mean 161.50 or 361.50?
You're asking 365. I don't have 365. Can I do 361.50?
Okay, so you're asking, the auctioneer is asking for $365,000, okay? So yes, we have the ability to come in here and I can change the bid increments, and the auctioneers do this online and we can do this live. So now it's asking $361,000. We have 360 bid, I'm asking for 361. Yes,
so just any amount that's above 360 right now to win the bid.
That's right. So if somebody comes in and says, you know what, I'm running a little tight on money and I just don't have the extra $4,000, but I got one more $1,000. Yes. If you're in a live situation, all you got to do is tell the auctioneer, say, hey, you know what, I'll bid 361. If you're a ring man, which we have ring man, Nui's a ring man, Brian's a ring man, Mark, we're going to teach Greg how to be a ring man. And if you're out there, just tell that ring man and say, hey, you know what? I don't have 360, but I'll bid 361.
But I'll do this.
Send us a text message.
Yep.
Send Brian a text message right now. What's your telephone number, Brian?
214-927-2744. 214-927-2744. Send me a text right now. It'd be great.
Yeah, send it. I mean, so we just want to know, number one, we want to know that you're legit. We want to know that you have the ability to pay. And then we're going to ask you to bid. One more question, Nui, and we're going to shut her down for today. We're going to end this up.
Yeah, so if I win the bid, I am willing to pay 161.50. What's next?
Well, if you're willing to pay 150, 160, that's done past today. Okay? So that's done. On today's auction, you got to be 360. So you can't go backwards less.
No, I mean 361.50.
Okay,
I mean
361.50. So if you want to bid 360, $150, then you just got to let us know. Okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to take your bid. Now, if you bid that right now, then that's going to increase the bid. Now, this other person who's at $360,000 has a chance to come back and
increase their bid.
They may increase their bid.
Right.
And what if the reserve is met? What's next? What do I have to do next?
So
the bidder.
We're going to confirm the sale. Now, as the auctioneer, I have authorizations in the contract. So if we hit the reserve in the contract, then the auctioneer can automatically sell the property.
That's right.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to get on the phone and you're going to get a memorandum of sale that says, hey, I'm the winning bidder. I agree to all the terms and conditions of sale. You sign, seller signs, auctioneer. Now, after you, as the bidder, sign, you have to deliver the required fees. The auctioneer's fee, the escrow fee, okay? That's delivered. The auctioneer gavels it sold, and then we get prepared for closing.
Yep.
You got some disclosures you assign. They're already published everywhere. So you got those disclosures, and then we're ready to go
So
to
whenever it's
close.
published on that site or on that link, I might sign that as a bidder, or I
Yes.
probably will sign what's
Well,
there.
you've already agreed to sign that.
Right.
You've already agreed to sign it.
Right.
You know it's there.
Right.
The auctioneer has published this information, so you know it's there.
Right.
And so we're just making sure we're tying up the loose ends. Sometimes the title company wants to say, well, who's paying for this and who's paying for that? Right. We're giving the title company a little bit more direction.
We give them a little direction there. Yeah, that's right.
Good question. That's so good, I want you to ask one more, Nui. One more question. What would you ask if you didn't know anything at all about an auction?
Yeah, and how long do I have to get everything ready before closing?
Up to 30 days.
30 days. What if I'm late after past 30 days? What happens?
Well, you may be at risk there because what the agreement says is you got 30 days unless you can negotiate with the seller for an extension. Yep. In most cases, when that's happened, I've seen that the seller will give an extension. They may not give a 6-month extension or a 6-week.
Couple
Days,
yeah,
maybe, but that's a seller's call. That's not the auctioneer's call, because now you're in agreement with the contract, and then it's in the contract to handle what goes on there. So you gotta pay attention to that.
Right.
So if you walked up on the street and you didn't know any of this, and you say, "Hey, what's going on?" What would be a question you asked the auctioneer when you walked in the door?
I want to hear the ring, the bid calling.
Oh, you want to hear the bid calling? There you go. There you go. You want to see what's going
Nobody
on.
wants to hear the bid call. So, yeah.
Okay, so I want to come back with that. You want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared to go in and ask, "Hey, what are y'all doing in there?" "Oh, this is an auction. I can't participate." Yeah, you can. You can participate. People that has never been to an auction before, never bought anything at an auction before, is participating in the auction.
Mm-hmm.
So what if I'm just there watching Myers, and all of a sudden I tilt my head, or I yawn, or I pull my ear? Did I bid? I mean, I don't want to accidentally bid.
Well, that's a good question. The auctioneer, now, this is an absolute fact.
Okay.
The auctioneer is well trained.
Okay.
Okay?
They know who's there.
Now, I've got 25 years of training.
Right.
And I'm pretty much tell when somebody's scratching their ear or they're talking. Sometimes people say, "Hey, how you doing, Brian?" Now, what happens is there's an automatic, we're trained to see this movement,
Right.
okay? So when you see this movement, now I'm going to check, just like Mark's doing this right here. Now, he's messing with me over there. So I seen him do this, but I know that Mark's not, because Mark's done put his hand back down. He's looking at me like, "Heck, I didn't bid."
Right.
All right?
Yeah, don't,
So you got that, it's like, you know what, did I move? Did I do the wrong thing?
right.
Now we had this happen the other day, Brian.
We did. We got it on video, too.
We got it on video.
Yeah.
Now, the guy bid, and he kind of acted like he was scratching, so I checked him out. Okay, but somebody bid more than he did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got up a little bit more, and then he did bid. Now, he was
what I was
standing
saying.
behind the wall. He was standing behind the wall like this.
Right.
And then he bid the third time. And then when we got to the point, he says, "Oh, no, that wasn't me."
That's right. I remember that.
And you know what? That's a serious situation.
Because what happens there is he might have bid that one extra time, and that might have knocked another bidder out, or they were like, "I'm done," and they might have gone.
And that's
up.
exactly what the lady said. The lady
Yeah.
says, "No, I'm not bidding anymore." Because what happened is that person intimidated the other bidder to stop bidding.
Right. That's bid suppression.
And that's bid suppression.
That's right.
And now that's an FTC violation right there, which is a question for the Department of Justice. Because now in an auction, for those of you who don't know, you cannot interfere with the other bidder.
Right.
You just can't do
I
it.
can't pay you not to bid. I can't.
You can't even ask me not to bid.
I
You
can't even ask you not to.
I mean, listen, you just can't come over here and mess with me. You can't come over and say, "Oh, I like the house, and you know, I got 9 kids, and I really need this house, but I only got X number of dollars, and don't bid against me
I
anymore."
can't show you the gun in my jacket.
You
and
can't
say
do
that.
any of that stuff, okay?
I don't have
You
a gun.
can't you can't pay me $25 or
Right.
$100 or nothing,
Right.
because what's happening is now you're suppressing the market.
Right.
Let's talk about this. What if people get together and say, "Well, Myers and Brian has got an auction over there on 14th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Let's don't point any of the bidders to the auction." You know what? We're going to tell the bidders not to go to the auction.
Yeah, we don't
Is
do
that
that.
right or wrong, Brian?
That's wrong.
Okay. So that's wrong that is identified in several different places, all right? Now, it says it in the Code of Ethics that we as realtors must give information to a buyer even though that they're unrepresented, even if it's not going to benefit us. Now break that down, Brian. What does that mean?
That means what I heard you say is, even if it doesn't benefit.
So you're in the office and somebody walks through the door,
Right.
a buyer who just wants to look, just got a question.
Right. I got to entertain that buyer. I got to answer the question, right?
We're giving them good information,
We're
right?
giving them good information. Anything I know, I need to disclose to that buyer.
We need to give them some information. Maybe they look at the property address, or now maybe we can't give them behind the door scenes access to the MLS and things like that. But whatever's public information even though it doesn't benefit us as realtors, we do our best to deliver good information
Right,
to that
Or
person.
if something I know about, as a realtor, something I know about the property that may cause harm.
Which is
something-
called a material fact.
That's right. We gotta disclose that.
We disclose the material facts. Hey, you know what? Yeah, you could probably go over there, but you need to call the listing agent. There may be an animal over there on that property or something.
Exactly.
Call the listing agent and maybe, or here's an opportunity for a realtor to bring that buyer, even though the buyer may not suit the realtor's fancy.
Right.
If that realtor would register that buyer and bring them to the auction, and if they won the bid today, how much did I say that they was going to get paid
They're
today?
gonna get $1,000 today.
Today. If that buyer wins.
Plus whatever concession they've worked out with that buyer. you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, you got $1,000 bonus right there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a good session today. Join us in. Get on MyersJackson.com. MyersJackson.com. Auction listings is going to show you where all our current listings are.
And then you place a bid right there.
You can place a bid right there. A lot of times we're coming out to the live auctions.
That's right.
Live auctions all the time. Main thing we want to have happen is get everybody involved in
Hey, I
this.
tell you what, if you come out to one of our live auctions, you're gonna have a blast. We have a good time. Myers teaches Hey, did I tell you he's a Trek approved instructor? He's got a 3-hour course on how to survive a live auction.
How to survive a real property auction.
Hey, I got a joke for you, Myers.
All right, come on with it now.
What did the auctioneer say to the realtor?
Huh?
What did the auctioneer say to the realtor?
Bid one more time.
Sold. Is what he said.
There you go.
Said.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all joining in today. Join us again here and at our next live webcast.
Live webcast. Peace out.
Big Moon.
I'm the auctioneer, people like it that way.